Blog Talk Radio.
Are you ready to take a bite out of the competition? Are you looking for ideas to make your business better? Welcome to the Core Business Show with Tim Jacquet, sponsored by Apple Capital Group. At the core of every successful business, you'll find people making a difference. And with each episode of the Core Business Show, we talk with those people, examine those ideas, and explore the strategies that make them special. Now, the host of the Core Business Show, Tim Jacquet.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Core Business Show. I'm Tim Jacquet, your host. Today, I have the pleasure of having actor, singer, songwriter Kendall Lake. She's going to join us for the next 15 minutes or so. If you'd like to join in the conversation, feel free to go ahead and pose your question in the chat room, or you can call into the studios at 347-324-3460. We will take questions at the last 2 or 3 minutes of the show. So, without further ado, Kendall, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
I know you're not a morning person, so thank you for bearing with us real quick. And I know you have a late night because you have your programs and gigs at night. But at the very beginning, our audience wants to know something about our guest. So if you don't mind, just tell us about yourself and where you're from.
Okay. Well, my name's Kendall Lake. I'm from Burbank, California. I'm a singer, like you said, songwriter, co-star on True Blood, and just an all-around badass. Did I lose you?
No, I'm here now. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. No, I've been singing my whole life and started taking it seriously as a career a couple of years ago. Kind of made the, what's it called, when you go from one thing to another? I can't really, transition. Made a transition from modeling into singing. And then within like 6 months of me really doing my singing, I went on tour in Morocco for like 5 months, touring with a band, performing at the Sofitel, which was beyond amazing. And now I'm back home, just recording for both me, writing for other artists, and I just joined a band, and we're trying to get on the Grand Prix tour next year. So busy,
Wow.
busy.
Well, that's a good thing. Well, as you go through middle school and high school growing up, did you realize you'd be where you are today?
Oh, not at all. I was one of those people that got bullied a lot. Not as bad as I'm hearing as it is now, but I didn't have a lot of friends. I was never asked out on like a date or even to a school dance. So I never went to any school dances, but I was always in like cheer, the choir, drama, and dance. Like the choir in my school at John Burroughs in Burbank is actually what the show Glee is based off of. Like our choir is like some champions, and they performed on Oprah and stuff. So it's a really prestigious music program at our school.
Wow, that's amazing. When you decided to graduate from high school, did you go did you go to college, or what did you do right after high school?
No, that's an interesting question. I don't ever hide what happened. I didn't have the best childhood. I didn't have the best relationship with my mother. So when I turned 18, I was kicked out of my house because my mom and I didn't get along, and some of my friends, I was literally sleeping out of my friends' cars when I was 18. A young girl, there's not very many options for you to do. I was still in high school when I left my parents' house. So I actually started dancing exotically. So I did that right after high school.
Wow. So during that transition, you went to this particular job itself, and it was a paying job. And from then, did it give you additional exposure, or how did you transition from that to modeling?
Well, I did that for a few years, but I became very versed in the pole. Like I ended up doing pole competitions because I didn't want to because in that job it's very easy to go left, like make it something dirty and something disgraceful. But I decided to make it like an art form and not take off my clothes and just dance around the pole. And I became very, very good at that. So once I kind of was financially stable enough I saved some money, got out, bought some property, and people were always like, "Oh, you're so pretty." And I'm like, "Nah, I don't know." So I went to makeup school to become a makeup artist. And then I was on sets and shoots for like months and months, and all the time the photographers and the directors always wanted to get me in front of the camera. So I was like, okay, well, I did a shoot. After the third shoot, I became a Maxim, like, hometown hottie. Then I was approached to be in other magazines. I started getting tattooed. So I was in various tattoo magazines, everything from Urban Ink to Tattoo Magazine. And then I was asked to be on Mansers on Spike TV. And then that got me onto True Blood.
Wow. So let's go back, for example, being an exotic dancer. Did that kind of, some people are shy, and if they're forced to be outgoing, does that bring another level out of your personality? Now you have to be outgoing. You have to talk to people. Taken from not necessarily it was a negative thing, but for example, taking that particular aspect, did that bring something more out of you to make you more outgoing?
Did it make me more
and not afraid?
outgoing? Well, I wasn't, even though in high school, I wasn't an introvert. Just naturally, I'm a natural performer, and when I'm around a bunch of people, I can come out. But me, myself, I'm very shy, so it's like at work, dancing, it's a show, basically. Everything from you're using a different name to the lights and stuff. So I just took it as a form of me becoming a character, and it definitely brought out me needing to pretend to feel physically attracted, because I never felt that way in high school. And that whole thing, like, fake it till you make it, eventually when you're faking something enough times, you start to believe it in some realm in your brain. So I started to feel like not only am I, like, physically attractive, but my personality, I can talk to people very well. And that kind of made me realize, because I'm in Groundlings as well, so I do improv comedy. So I would, like, practice doing, like, random stand-up jokes at the clubs, which was funny.
Wow. So what's one of your most funny jokes that you would tell people, if you don't mind sharing?
It's funny because it's not funny. I would be like, what do you get when you cross a brown chicken with a brown cow?
Wow.
Tim,
I'm wondering.
Answer the question.
Okay.
Give up.
Brown chicken and brown cow. Let's see, what will we get? Okay. A chicken cow?
Brown chicken, brown cow.
Oh, that's
Get
cute.
It?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cute.
I would do stuff like that. Yeah.
Wow.
It's terrible.
No, it's really, I really get it. Thanks. I appreciate you sharing that with us.
You're welcome.
But coming from that, and you got into modeling, makeup helped you. It seemed like you had these steps that kind of help you propel you in your career. And one question is regarding tattoos. I mean, you have some tattoo. You tattoo your arm. Does that really hurt?
Oh boy, does it hurt! Anybody that tells you it doesn't hurt is a liar. It hurts tremendously.
Wow. So you had your whole arm and other parts tattooed. How long did it take?
My arm took, I believe it took 4 sessions, a little over 5 hours. I'm actually getting it not redone, but touched up. But my artist is amazing. He just did a piece on Chris Brown's chest. He's one of the best, in my opinion, that I've met in the industry. I wanted to go get touched up because after a while, the color starts to fade. And when you go in to get the color redone, it hurts that much worse because it's already on skin that is very thin. So he's doing it over again, basically, because you just was supposed to put color in and you saw it, and he's doing the whole thing over, which is great. It needs to be done, but it hurts 10 times worse than it did the first time. So.
Wow. Because it's more tender?
Yes. Like, it hurts badly.
Well, it kind of tells in the background from tattoos, and now you went to, at this point, to modeling magazines, Maxim, ATL magazine, Urban Link, Tattoo magazine. Kind of tell us about those experiences. How did you get those particular spreads?
I'm in some ways it's not good, but I think in most ways it's good. I go bother people. Like, Google's been my best friend. I think in my career, a lot of models will sometimes get lucky and they'll just be in the right place at the right time. I will Google what magazines I want to be in, or kind of figure out what kind of career I want to have, and then I would find out the editors for those magazines, and I would just email them a little letter, resume, and pictures, and that's how I got 90% of the jobs that I have.
Wow. So what do you say to them?
I'm like, hi, my name's Kendall. I'm an upcoming model. Obviously, you gotta make it sound like you're more important than you are. And be like, I really respect or I really love your magazine or your TV show. Or I've even done it to various producers with my music and just been like, I'd love to work with you. This is an example of either what I look like, my pictures, or what I sound like for music. I look forward to hearing from you. So.
Wow. And they responded.
Yeah, it did. I mean, don't get me wrong. A lot of them didn't, but the people that did, it worked out
It was
pretty
worth
well.
it.
Yeah.
Wow. So going on those particular sets, they reach back out to you. What is like the behind the scenes and walking into that particular set? We look at Top Model, we see they do all this work, how long it takes. Tell us that particular experience. You walk on set, what do you do? How long does it take you to get your makeup and what you're going to be wearing, and how long it takes to do that whole set?
Well, when you walk in, you have to be there literally hours before anything starts to shoot. Like, in particular, I'm thinking of a music video that I did. You walk in with the other models, if there are other models, you have to sit in the chair with the makeup artist, and that's a little like therapy session basically, and you get to talk to the makeup artist and kind of tell them what you like to look like, but they have directions from the director of what they want you to look like. So it's kind of like a little tug and pull with that. And then you wait for the set to get built up while either the producer or director will come and tell you what they're looking for. And then the wardrobe person will come by. Sometimes they'll tell you to bring some of your own pieces, mixed in with their pieces. Sometimes like on True Blood, I just walked in and they have everything ready for me, but you literally go through hair and makeup, go to change for wardrobe, then you're just waiting to get called on set. And it's very weird because the time that they ask you to be there, it's, in my opinion, it's a lot of waiting. And in the industry, a lot of people are like, they literally call it hurry up and wait. People are like, okay, we need you to hurry up and get dressed. You can wait for an hour until we need you to do anything else.
Wow. So they kind of compromise and kind of to get you to look the way you want and what the director vision, and they kind of as a compromise in between the two.
Most of the time, I mean, sometimes I will request to do my own makeup because I'm a makeup artist and nobody knows my face like I do. And being of African American descent, a lot of makeup artists, they don't know how to do African American makeup like they know how to do another ethnicity, because there's more of the other ethnicities like Caucasian than there are of me. So it's like I've always felt like no one's really done it the way that I wanted it done, so I'll request to do it myself. Even when I did True Blood, mind you, they told me that they were going to do it, but I just came in with it on because it's like if they want to do it, I'll just take it off. But if it's dead, and when I went through makeup, they're like, no, you look great. They like touched up a little bit, but it was fine. So, yeah.
Okay. Let's take a probably 5-second break real quick, and we'll be back in a moment. You'll listen to the Core Business Show.
You're listening to the Core Business Show, sponsored by Apple Capital Group.
We're back with Kendall Lake, and we're going to talk about True Blood. Tell us about how did you get on True Blood?
How did I get on True Blood? One of my good friends works on True Blood. I had worked with HBO doing some work on another show, so they kind of knew of me and they needed a pole dancer. So I just got a call being asked if I would want to be the vampire dancer in Fantasia.
Wow. So when you went on the set and I've seen a couple of episodes of True Blood, kind of graphic. It has a lot of dimensions to it. I mean, sexually, It has blood and gore, it has violence, it has all these things. What it's like to walk on this particular set, and of course you can see all the things that's happening, and I'm sure they had to go back and edit. What it's like to see it on the finished product before you actually walk onto the set and see all the behind the scene things?
What's it like to see the finished product, or what's it like to see things behind the scenes?
Well, what is it like when you walk on the set and you see all of the costumes, you see all the half sets, you might have half a room that's built to make it look like an entire house. Describe the background of all of that when you walk onto the set, what it's like.
And I'll definitely say it's surreal because I haven't been on a lot of huge sets like that. And it's the scenes that I filmed where Fantasia is actually filmed in a lot, so it's not on location. And walking into everything and you see Sarsgaard walking by or Anna Paquin. It's like me personally, I wanted to be like, hey guys, because we're all like shooting, but obviously they don't know who I am, nor do they care. So I'm just like trying not to make eye contact. But then when I got into Fantasia as they're setting it up, it was so beautiful. And obviously everything's smaller in person. I'm only 5 foot, so to me it was like perfect size. But like compared to especially how tall Alex Skarsgård is, it's like holy crap. He's a big dude. But like walking in there, you automatically as soon as you walk into the set of Fantasia, I felt like I was in True Blood. Like I felt like I walked into a scene of True Blood, seeing the lights and seeing all the bottles of True Blood at the bar, and I had to test out the pole to make sure it was sturdy enough for me to do my tricks on and stuff. But it was really cool and surreal.
Wow. And dealing with the normal characters on the show, they easy to work with and they're really approachable, or?
I mean, as far as approachable, I didn't approach them, so I didn't feel like they were approachable, but that doesn't mean that they gave off any, I have nothing negative to say. Like, they all seem really cool, and when I have seen them and met them at various HBO parties or the premiere and stuff, they're all really nice. They're huge stars, so it's like, and there were a lot of extras walking around as well. So who knows who is bothering them? But the people that I worked with, like Deborah, who plays Jessica, she is one of the sweetest people I've ever met in my life, and we bonded a lot while we were filming. So she's really sweet.
Wow. We have 4 more questions real quick. One is the Playboy Mansion. What is it like to actually, go to the Playboy Mansion and meet you?
Hugh is so cute and adorable, and he doesn't even seem like he would have as many girlfriends as he has. But it's wow. But it's really great, and it's like it's way more normal than people would think. Like when I would go there in the daytime sometimes. When I was like 18, I dated a tennis player, and we would go there on Sundays. I was pretty in with the crowd. We'd go there on Sundays, and he would teach Hugh's brother and various males on the property tennis lessons. And all the girls were really nice and really sweet and cool. And whenever I would go to the parties, I would never be walking around with no clothes on, but it was definitely like a theme. But they did it like it wasn't as sexualized as people think it is. Mind you, there are parts where people are doing some stuff, and that's interesting. But it just seems like a big old party. So, and obviously, I'm a straight woman, so me seeing a girl walking around where her boobs are very prominent isn't doing anything for me. So I've never understood why guys are like, oh my God, mansion parties. So I think it's one of those things like if you go there one time, you'll be like, okay, I don't want to do this again. Or maybe you're going to be addicted and go all the time. But they're really fun. The food's really good.
Wow. And who did you look up to, and who do you look up to now that you kind of marvel to be like them in the future and to create your own brand? You're doing a great job as creating yourself now. Anyone that stands out?
When I was growing up, my mother, I lived a really sheltered life. Like I said, never went to dances, and I didn't kiss a boy until I was like 18, 19. I grew up watching old movies, so I watched a lot of Betty Davis movies, Audrey Hepburn, Katharine Hepburn. So I love musicals. So I grew up really wanting to be like the Barbra Streisands and the Bette Midlers. And I'm actually of Jewish descent. Like my mother's Ethiopian Jew, my father's a German Jew. So I wanted to be just like them. And still to this day, I aspire to be like them and share. I want to bring back the old kind of variety show where it's singing infused with comedy and skits and stuff. So even though my genre of music that I sing myself is rock mixed with like electro or dubstep, I really want to have my career be more of like a show tunes kind of person. It's funny, but they sing really well too.
Wow. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years?
5 to 10 years. I'm just trying to remember how old I am for this. I want a family. I see myself with like 2 kids. It's weird because I didn't go to college and I never had like that quote unquote real job. I've never really had to answer this question seriously. But my whole thing is I just want to be happy. I want to be able to take care of my family with doing what I love, and that's music. So I've never wanted to be like a Madonna or a Beyonce, like on such a huge scale and platform. I respect people like Tool, the Deftones, Damien Rice, people who are like, I'm sure they sell out venues, but they're not in tabloids. You don't hear about them on E! News and stuff like that, and their fans well respect them, so their fans will be with them to the day that they die. So that's what I say. I want to see myself with a kid or two, with a loving husband, making a good living, just doing the music that I want to do.
Okay. And what about an advice that you would have for a person who looking to go into this particular industry?
I tell everyone just to embrace who they are, because in this industry they're going to try to, their way of making money off of you is figuring out who you are and telling you who you should be. And it sucks because you do have to play nice to kind of get through the door. But once you're in the door, there's so many people that are pretending to be somebody else to make that buck. Like if you're doing what you want to do and you're nice and you're respectful, but you're still like firm in your decisions and you're passionate about it, I think everybody's going to be successful doing what they want to do, like wholeheartedly. And just like a lot of people don't realize, like if you reach out to producers, or I've gotten emails from producers of huge shows just to send in a recorded me recording, reading their sides. Mind you, I don't have an agent. I don't have a manager. I never have. I've done everything by myself. So for me to get a huge audition like that just by emailing somebody, like, I think there's something to be said. But don't get crazy. I feel like once I say that, somebody might be like, yeah, I'm just going to fucking email everybody in the industry every day. No, like, be respectful about it. But if people don't know who you are, how are you going to get through the door? You know what I mean?
Any tips that you normally that works for you? You email them, go to websites, go to Google to get the information. Are there any other places that you can go to try to get that information?
No, you just look up, there's like talent agents and various things like that and to go to, and there's sites like Model Mayhem for the females trying to get into that. It's basically like a Facebook for models. And you sign up and you put your pictures up there, and there's constant castings and stuff so that you can submit yourself to. And a lot of editors for magazines are actually on Model Mayhem. A lot of like Ink magazine is on Model Mayhem. I know there's a lot of people are on Model Mayhem that people can find to reach out to. And as far as music, I got booked for my tour in Morocco because I was on a website called Band Mix, and that is a Facebook for people in bands looking for like-minded people and looking to book people and stuff like that. Like, people need to just do their research. So, yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Well, what's your Facebook fan page? Everybody can go and click you, and Twitter if you have it.
Yeah, Twitter and Facebook. My Facebook is Kendall Lake. It's Kendall, and then another Lake. My Twitter is Kendall Lake, but just 2 L, so it's Kendallake.
Perfect. Well, thank you for joining the program. Thank you, Kendall. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Okay. Have a great day. Take care.
Okay, you too. Bye.
Bye-bye. Again, this has been another production of the Core Business Show. Thank you for listening. Have a great day.
Thank you for listening to the Core Business Show with Tim Jacquet. For a free quote on equipment leasing and financing, visit our website, applecapitalgroup.com. That's applecapitalgroup.com. And fill out the information to receive your free quote. We hope you'll join us for our next episode. And remember, you can always get to the Core via iTunes. You'll find all our previous episodes there. Thanks again for listening to the Core Business Show with Tim Jacquet.